Hello everybody, my name is Chris Kouzloukis, the Protopsaltis at St. Demetrius Greek Orthodox Church in Seattle, Washington, and welcome back to our lesson series on First Mode Eirmologic Repertoire. And we are going to be looking at repertoire again from the Vespers service today. If you have not watched the videos on First Mode theory in the Eirmologic First Mode, and also our repertoire example video that I did previously last week, I highly recommend you go and watch those before you get into this video, because there are some things in this video that I explained in the last video that I will not be explaining in this video, and you might get a little confused, such as the hard chromatic scale. All right, so go back and watch those videos if you haven't. If you have, welcome. Let's get going. Before we jump right into the lesson, remember, if you want to contact me for any reason, if you have any questions, or if you want to do any private lessons to see how your own personal chant journey is going, you can go ahead and contact me at the email or the link that is in the description of this video. Now let's get going. So, picking up where we left off, here we have the martyria of thee. Remember, when we are intoning our psalm verses, we intone on thee in first mode, in Eirmologic first mode. So, if this is our pa thee, we finish our psalm verse and we start here on thee. Let's listen to this on paralagi. Thee ke zo ke thee gamu pa buga thee. Incomplete cadence here on thee. Here we had that flat zo because it's not ascending to ni. It only touches zo and goes down, so it's flat. All right, let's continue. Thee ke zo ke ga thee gamu thee gamu pa. Complete cadence here on pa. Here we have another flat zo with the psiphiston underneath. Now the psiphiston, remember, it is accented, a bit more of an emphasis on that character in the Eirmologic mode, especially because normally we'd be chanting these quite fast. Oops, sorry, I keep switching this accidentally with my mouse roller. So we would, since we do the Eirmologic style quite fast, the psiphiston is just an accent, right? Once we get to stichoraric stuff, there'll be some more ornamental ideas that we can use with the psiphiston, but for now, we're just using it as an accent. Just kind of emphasizing that a bit more. All right, continuing from where I left off. Pa, up, 3 to thee. Thee ga thee ke zo ke ni. Thee ga vu ga thee ga vu thee ga vu pa. Final cadence here on pa. Other than that, really nothing too crazy in this one, just normal diatonic stuff. Let's hear it on melos. Pa thee Kyklos atelaision ke perilabete aftin ke dote doxanen aftito anastandi ek nekron oti aftos estin o theosimon o litros amenos imas εκ των ανομιών ημών. And then we would intone our psalm verse on thee. And then we would keep going here with this next one. Now here, I'll just say in advance, we've got this phthora here, which we learned about in our previous video on Eirmologic first tone. Remember, that is the hard chromatic phthora of pa. So here we're going to be switching to the hard chromatic for a bit, and then we have the diatonic phthora of thee, switching us back to the diatonic scale. So, Pa, di, paralegi. Di, ga, di, ke, zo, ke, di, ga, mu, pa, vu, ga, di, ke, ga, vu, ga, ga, vu, pa. Nothing crazy. We've got our cadence, our complete cadence here on pa, and we have an incomplete cadence here on the. Up 4 here for going up to ke. Pa, ke, ga, di, ke, ni, zo, ke, ni. Incomplete cadence here on the. Then our hard chromatic thora of pa. So we're going down 3 from the, pa to pa. But since we have the hard chromatic thora, as we ascend, we will be executing the hard chromatic scale now instead of the diatonic scale. And if you need a refresher on the hard chromatic scale, you can watch my previous video, which goes into detail about how the hard chromatic scale works, what its intervals are, and what it sounds like. So as we continue from here, pa, bu, ga, di, bu, ga, di. So there's a little hard chromatic part here, and then we move back to diatonic with this diatonic thora of the. Di, ga, vu, pa, pa. And here we have that antikenoma with the apli in the middle, which remember that means we do our little ornamentation. Vu, pa, pa. So, once all the way through again on paralegi, and then to melos. Pa, di, ga, di, ke, zo, ke, ni, di, ga, mu, pa, vu, ga, di, ke, ga, ga, mu, ga, ga, mu, pa, ke, ga, ke, ni, zo, ke, ni, pa, mu, ga, bu, ga, ga, bu, ga, vu, pa, pa. Now on melos. Δεύτερα υμνήσομεν και προσκυνήσομεν Χριστόν, δοξάζοντες αυτού την εκ νεκρών Αναστάσιν, ότι αυτός εστίν ο Θεός ημών, ο εκ της πλάνης του εχθρού, τον κόσμον λυτρωσάμενος. That's our melos. Let's continue to our next piece. All right. So again, we would do our psalm verse on thee, and then here we would start on thee as well. Pa, thee, ke, ni, ga, mu, ga, di, ni, zo, ke, ni, ga, mu, ga, di, ni, zo, ke, ni, ga, mu, ga, mu, pa, ke, ga, mu, pa, vu, ga, pa, pa, ga, mu, ga, I'm going to stop there. So nothing super crazy. We've got some bigger jumps up to knee, which we haven't seen before. And of course, the zos after those high knees are descending. So they're going to be flat zos. And then we've got something new here. So here we have the thora, the hard chromatic thora of thee. Now you might have noticed when I was singing this, we were on pa, and we went Pa 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 diga bugadi. Now, you might be thinking, well, you were on pa, but then you said the. How does that work? Well, it is because when we see this symbol, we know that it is the hard chromatic phthora of the. So no matter what note that we were on previously, we were on pa here, right? When we get here, since we have the ison over the petasti, we know that the pitch that we're singing stays the same, but the scale, which is dictated by this phthora, is going to change along with the place that we are at in the scale. So we're going to be switching from pa, which is the bottom of the tetrachord in first tone, to the, which is the top of the tetrachord in the plagal second tone, or in the plagal second tone generally, or it could be in second tone Eirmologic as well, but in the hard chromatic, which is what is important here, the of the hard chromatic, which is the top of the tetrachord, right? So then, as we descend below this the here, we're going to execute those intervals of the hard chromatic starting from the. So remember, if we're on the here of the hard chromatic, the to ga is only 4 moria. The ga bu, and ga to vu is 20 moria. So that's a huge jump there. So we're executing those intervals, all right? And then we go back up to here to the again, right? So we've got pa 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 the ga mu ga di. And so we're executing that hard chromatic scale from the down. So I know it's a little confusing at the beginning. This happens a lot, though, in Byzantine music. So it's something you'll get used to. All right? So I'll start from here. I'll do it on paralagi, so you can hear that entire phrase, and then we'll continue on. Pa di li ke di ga mu pa vu ga di. Pa 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 di ga mu ga di. The ga mu pa. So here we have the diatonic phthora of the. So we're jumping up 3 from this the that we had previously from the hard chromatic scale. And then we are up on the diatonic the. All right, so up from this, and it's natural martiria is pa, right? And then up to the and we're back in diatonic with our complete cadence here on pa. Now let's keep going. Pa, mu ga di, the ga mu pa, pa pa vu pa ni zo. Ga di ke di ga mu di ga vu pa pa. So here we had an incomplete cadence here on zo, which is not super common, but we do see it sometimes in first tone. And then up 4 to ga. So let's hear this on melos, and here we have a really bad printing of a theta. This is ephranthite, all right? So pa di ephranthite urani salpisate ta themeliatis gis voisate ta ori efrosinin idulgaro Emmanuel ta samartia Simon to stavro prosilose και ζωήν οδίδους θανάτων ενέκρωσε Tona damanastis asos philanthropos. There we are with the melos. Let's keep it going here. We got a couple left. So, tone on pa here, because remember we intoned on these, so now we're going down 3. This one starts on pa. Let's hear this one with paralagi. Pa pa vu ni vu pa vu ga di mu pa vu ga di ga mu ga di ke ni ga mu pa. So here we have our complete cadence on pa. Nothing super crazy in here, all generally normal stuff. The one thing that I will point out that I really haven't talked about much in these first tone videos is really be aware of the meter changes here. So here we have 2, here we have 4, here we have 3. We're back in 2 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2. So there's in this one especially, the meter changes get crazy. And remember, that's important because the down, the first beat of every meter, of every measure, is where the accented syllable is. So it's important to keep track of where those beats are. All right, let's keep going from where we were. Pa. Now we've got 6 up to ni. Ni za ke di pa vu ga di ke ni di ga mu pa vu ga di ke ni ke zo ke ni di ga mu di ga vu pa. Nothing crazy in there, of course, just up to the high nu, descending, flat zo. Everything else is pretty much along the lines of what we've been doing. And I just want to say one more thing about the rhythms too. If you're practicing these at home, remember, like in the videos that I have on reading notation, I talk a lot about keeping time with your hands. Remember, we've got 1, 2, down, up, down, up. We've got 3, 1, 2, 3, down, side, up. And we've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, side, up. When you are singing these, when you are practicing, it's important that you do that along with your chanting. It's really going to help you keep track of time. It's really going to help you keep track of where you are, keep track of where those accented syllables are in the piece. All right, let's hear this one on melos. Ton sarki ekusios stavrothenda dimas pathonda ketafenda ke anastanda ek necronim nisum en leondes Styrixon orthodoxia tin ecclesian su Christe Keirin evson tin zoinimon os agathos ke philanthropos. All right. Let's keep it going. We're going down 3 again, starting on pa. Let's hear the paralagi. Starts very similar to the last one. Pa 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 vu ni vu pa di ga vu pa pa di ke ni ke zo ke ni di ga vu ke ni ga di ke ni ga mu pa. Nothing crazy. We've got some final cadence, not final cadences, some complete cadences here on pa, here again on pa. Let's keep going. Gavu pavu pavu nivu pa the kedi gavu gadi the gavu pa kedi gadi gavu gadi the gadi kedi gagamu the gavu papa. Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. Let's hear the melos. Pozodo sutafo parestotes ianaxi doxologian prosferomen Διαφάτος σου ευσπλαχνία Χριστέ ο Θεός ημών, ότι σταυρών κατεδέξω και θάνατον αναμαρτήτε, ή να το κόσμο δωρήσει, την Ανάσταση ως φιλάνθρωπος. So there's that one. That is going to be our last hymn for today. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you tuning in. If you're enjoying these lessons and if you find value in them, go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel so that you know when the future lessons are coming out. They will be every Tuesday. We will have a new lesson. So thanks very much, and I will see you in the next video.